had planned a different topic for today, but I'm just back from a work trip. And when I tell you my cup is empty, it is empty. It is drained, it is dried up. And I'm saying I'm picturing that empty coffee pot that has a little remnants of coffee on the bottom that is all dried up and got a little burnt because you forgot to turn the coffee maker off when you poured that last cup of coffee. That's kind of how I'm feeling at the moment. Like you can't even pour something back into me until you clean me up. That's how much I need a reset right now. Like I said, I'm just home from a work trip, which I haven't had to travel for work in years. I was only away for a few days and I had my plans in place to keep the house and the kids in order while I was away. And Russ's job threw a monkey wrench. And at the last minute, we thought he would be able to switch his days around to be home while I was away, but he ended up having to go in. So I had to coordinate 21 different pickups and drop offs for all three kids in the last minute. Thank God for my village. So I had it all sorted out. I get to Ohio, call in to check in, only to find out that Michael broke out in a crazy head to toe rash without fail. Every time I go away, one of my kids gets sick or something crazy like a mysterious wrench appears. And of course, I'm away, so there's nothing I can do about it. And then the last day of my trip, I wake up not feeling well, nauseous and dizzy, and I had meetings that I had to struggle through all day. At one point, I was sitting there in the room and everything started to blur. I thought I was going to pass out on my chair. Fast forward to the airport, I get there, I get my luggage tag. I went with a couple of new team members and I went to say goodbye to them. And then I was getting work pings on my phone, so I was multitasking. As I'm walking to security, starting to not feel well again, I wait on this long line. I get all the way up to security, and then I realize that I never actually checked my suitcase, and I have to turn around and go back out while also running into one of my new clients and embarrassingly have to admit that I forgot to check my bag. I'm like, I'm totally making a great impression here. Then I get on the flight, and again, not feeling well, and a girl sits down next to me with a bag of Chick-fil-A and proceeds to eat it. I don't know how I didn't get sick from the smell of it. And just public service announcement, if you're going on a flight and bringing your own food, please be considerate of your fellow passengers around you. This was a small plane too. It was only like 17 rows, so that smell lingered for a long time. It was a short flight, only 2 hours, but then we landed and we had to taxi for over an hour because the plane that was at our gate had an issue. I finally get home and Michael comes to give me a hug, and his rash is worse than it was from the pictures I saw when I was away. So now, my Friday morning, as soon as I wake up, I have to bring him to the doctor before a full day of meeting starts. So today, we are talking about how to fill up your cup, because after the past 2 weeks of living out of packing cubes and having my daily routines completely thrown off, this mama needs a serious cup refill because I am running on empty. So that is what we're talking about today, how to refill your cup. And spoiler alert, one of those ways is with a kick butt morning routine. That includes some serious me time, or in this case, you time. And to help you with that, I have my Mornings Made Simple for Working Moms guide. That is free. The link is in the show notes. So scroll down, click that link, and get your free guide today. So let's jump right in. Are you feeling overwhelmed trying to juggle all the many hats you wear as a working mom? Do you want more quality time with your family without distraction of work and time alone to take care of yourself and your needs? Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life. I'm Kerri, a wife, mom of 3, and a recovering perfectionist. In this podcast, I will teach you how to create balance in your life by implementing healthy habits, organizing your home and your schedule, being intentional with your time and in your relationships, and most importantly, how to start putting your needs first, because no one can pour from an empty cup. Grab that second cup of coffee, or if you're anything like me, your third. It's time to dive into today's episode of Mom Wife Career Life. As busy working moms, it's so easy to put yourself last on that list. But let's be real, you cannot pour from an empty cup. We need to get out of this mindset that taking care of yourself is selfish. It is not. When you're running on fumes, everything feels harder, for managing work, for being present with your family. So today we're going to talk about how to refill your cups to make sure you're not just surviving, but you're seriously thriving. And we're starting with number 1. Start your day with me time. Even if it's just 10 to 15 minutes, carve out some quiet time before the day begins, whether it's sipping coffee in silence or reading a few pages of a book or journaling your thoughts. Starting your day with that little bit of peace can seriously set a great tone for everything else. And trust me, that little pocket of time makes a difference when your day gets crazy. And once you get used to having those 15 minutes, you're going to start to crave a little bit more time. And it might actually help to motivate you get up a little earlier. So then you'll maybe get some time to journal or read and have that quiet cup of coffee in the morning. And maybe you'll love it even more and it will motivate you to get up even earlier. And you'll want to add a morning walk in there too, or maybe a short yoga session or a run on the treadmill. My morning is my sacred time that I seriously look forward to every day. It's what gets me jumping out of bed in the morning. Well, maybe not jumping, but it gets me up without having to hit that snooze button. Plus, I don't think Russ would really be too happy with me if the alarm was going off more than once that early in the morning. But my point is, the mornings are the best guilt-free time that any mom is going to get. So take advantage of it. Number 2, move your body without the guilt. You don't have to hit the gym for an hour to feel good. If you listen to my series with Becky Bonaventura, episodes 134 and 135, she talked about changing our mindsets that exercise needs to look a certain way, that it needs to be 30 minutes or an hour, and that as busy moms, it's okay to break it up and do what we can do in those small pockets of time we have. A quick 10-minute stretch, a dance party with the kids, or walking during your lunch break. It totally counts. She helped me create a mini routine that I'm able to squeeze into that pocket of time after I drop the kids off and before I have to log in for my workday. And it's working out great. And don't forget those counter push ups while you're heating up your coffee or waiting for that pot to boil during dinner time. Moving your body boosts your mood and your energy. And when you're feeling good physically, you're more equipped to whatever life throws at you. So the key here is consistency and not perfection. Number 3, set boundaries and stick to them. Learning to say no is a form of self-care, whether it's at work or in your personal life. Setting those boundaries around your time and energy seriously protects you from burnout. You don't have to be available for everyone 24/7. It's okay to step back and prioritize yourself. Your sanity will thank you. And it's okay to change your mind if you already said yes to something and you realize that it's just too much. Maybe you said yes to something and your situation changed, or you didn't realize what a big commitment it was. Or if you're like me this week and the thought of having to put one more thing on your plate might put you over the edge, find someone else that can step in for you. And I know it's hard. I've shared that I'm in a season of saying no. I'm trying to use whatever free time I have to work on my goals this year, which the big one is creating my time management course that I'm hoping to get out into this world before the end of the year. And it's hard. There are just so many things that come up between school events, church events, family and friends that need you, especially this time of year as we're going into the holidays. But sometimes you just have to put your mask on first and focus on yourself and not feel guilty about it. Number 4, get outside for a mental reset. To me, there's just something magical about being outside in the fresh air. Nature it just has a way of calming your mind and helping you reset, especially after a long day of work, parenting, both. Plus, it's a simple way to get out of your head and just breathe deeply. I do my quick mile walk as part of my morning routine, but I also try to get out midday for another loop around the river that's right next to my house. Work has been crazy the past few weeks, so I haven't been getting out, but I'm hitting that reset button this week. I'm blocking out time in between meetings to just get out. I call it my mental mile because it seriously does wonders after sitting in front of a computer for hours to just reset my brain. My body needs it, my brain needs it, and my poor pup needs it. So highly recommend just getting outside, even if you just go outside and stand in the grass, if you have grass in your yard, especially now before the winter hits, and just walk around and ground yourself. Nothing better. Number 5, embrace the power of small joys. Self-care doesn't have to be this elaborate thing. Light your favorite candle, put on a face mask while you fold laundry, or blast your favorite playlist while you cook. Infusing these little moments of joy into your day helps keep you connected to yourself. The little things add up and remind you that you deserve to feel good too, even in these busy times. I shared before that Russ took an elevator one time with this woman who was watching one of those TV screens that are on the side panels. And out of nowhere, she got all excited and said, "This was the first joy of my day." I forget what it was. It was a basketball game or scores of a game or something like that. But this woman made it a point to Look for the little joys in her day and actually count them. I started doing that after Russ told me about it because I thought it was such a great thing to do. At some point, I stopped, but it's something I'm trying to bring back this week, and I'm going to have a little daily counter in my planner. But there are just so many things in our lives, in our days, that we just pass by without taking it in, without being present enough and aware enough of all these little joys that God gives us. So I challenge you to look out for those joys in your day and think about the things that truly make you happy and use those small pockets of time in your day to do them. Number 6, take breaks without feeling guilty. Give yourself permission to take breaks throughout the day. Yes, 5 minutes to close your eyes, get up from your computer, go get a drink, or do absolutely nothing. It's not time wasted. It is a mental reset. When you give yourself permission to pause, you come back to your tasks with more focus and less stress. The Pomodoro technique is actually a time management method where you work in 25-minute intervals. You are fully focused on a task for those 25 minutes, and then you take a 5-minute break, then you work for 25 minutes, then you take another 5-minute break. This is really great if you have ADHD too. The idea is that if you limit the amount of time that you have to focus, then you're actually focusing on that task better. And if you think about it, when is the last time you were really able to just sit down and focus for a really long period of time? I know I need breaks, even if it's just to stand and stretch, go to the bathroom, reheat my coffee for the third time. So take those breaks and don't feel guilty about it. Number 7, nourish your body with foods you actually enjoy. It's so easy to skip meals or grab whatever's convenient, but regardless, your body needs fuel. Make sure that you're eating foods that nourish you, but also bring you joy. And yes, that means having that salad and possibly that slice of chocolate cake if that's what you're craving. Balance, not restrictions, is really what the goal is here. When you're well nourished, you have more energy to give. And I know that bad food is the easiest to snack on. I am the first to admit that I go for that salty, crunchy food, which probably means it's high in carbs and high in fat. I'm also an emotional eater and a stress eater. So the past couple of weeks have been a serious struggle for me. And I also work out of my kitchen for most of the week. So I'm constantly staring at food, which didn't help. I finally created a legit second workspace for myself, which is actually going to be my permanent workspace. I'm giving Russ the office upstairs, and it's in a corner of my family room. I am loving it. I got a big, beautiful desk, got one of those extra wide desk chairs on Amazon Prime Day, and I'm right next to a window that I can look out all day. And I'm out of the kitchen, so I'm really hoping that helps with my cravings and mindless eating. My friend also shared with me this week that she decides what her go-to snack will be every day. So that way, when she's hungry, that's what she goes for. So one day she'll pick strawberries, she'll make sure they're clean, she'll cut them up, and then she leaves them front and center. So that way, when she gets a craving, that's what she goes for, and it's already prepped and ready for her to grab. That's something I'm going to start doing. Number 8, ask for help and let go of trying to be that super mom. You don't have to do it all. Ask for help, whether it's from your partner, your kids, delegating tasks at work, or leaning on your village. Let go of the idea that you have to be this super mom and on 24/7. You're human, and it's okay to lean on others. In fact, it's necessary to ask for help so that you can refill your cup. I would not have been able to travel for work last week without my village. It is such a stress relief knowing that there are backup options, and you never know when you're going to need them. So if you don't have a good support system in place, start building one. You can check out episode 125. It's all about how to build your village and the power of asking for help as a working mom. Number 9, schedule a time for something that lights you up. What's one thing that makes you feel you? Maybe it's a hobby. Maybe you're into art and you haven't drawn or painted a picture in a while. Maybe you're a writer and you haven't picked up that pen and pencil. Whether it's something creative or a sport, or even just getting a pedicure because you haven't gotten your toes painted since you went on vacation this summer. Or maybe it's just the guilty pleasure of binge watching your favorite show. Schedule time for it. Hallmark Christmas movie season is upon us, and it's totally my guilty pleasure. We're on a Christmas countdown in our house, 3 weeks till our tree goes up, and I cannot wait. Nothing lights me up more than snuggling on my couch in our dark living room with just the light of the tree in the room. The only one thing that would actually make it much better is the real fireplace. We have an electric one, and it's just totally not the same. But my point is, when you make time for the things that light you up, you come back to your roles as mom, partner, and employee with more energy and a lot less resentment. So it's all about keeping that spark alive and doing what lights you up. And number 10, celebrate small wins. We're so quick to brush off our accomplishments, but every little win matters. You finished a work project? Celebrate it. Got the kids to bed on time? Celebrate it. Took 5 minutes to meditate? Celebrate it. Did some counter push-ups while cooking dinner? Celebrate it. Acknowledging these small victories gives you a sense of progress and reminds you that you're doing amazing, even when it feels like you're not. And at the end of the day, self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. You matter just as much as everything else on your to-do list, so don't be afraid to make time for you. Remember, when you take care of yourself, you're a better mom, a better partner, and just overall a better person. You deserve it, and the people around you will appreciate you being in a better mood. Trust me. Russ knows when I need a break, and he's not afraid to tell me. And he's nice about it. He'll say, I think you should go for a walk. And I usually stop what I'm doing and go for that walk. And I know not everyone has that encouraging person in their life, so it does take some self-awareness. But I promise you, even when you don't think you have time, taking these little breaks may take time away from what you're doing, but it will make you more productive in the long run. And even if you have to throw the kids in the stroller to get out and go for that walk, do what you have to do. I'd love to hear how you plan on filling up your cup this week. Head on over to our Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms, and tell us all about it. If you don't already follow the show, take a second and hit that follow button so you never miss another episode. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Kerri Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it on your Instagram stories and tag me, and let them know that they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life or come on over and hang out in our free Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Kerri Pat.